Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to On the Mic with Mike, the premier business radio program in the area. I'm your host, Mike King. I appreciate you being here with me. The views expressed here are mine. I have no connection to, support of, agreement with any other host, information, or ads on the station. I don't work for the station. My program just airs here on a daily basis, and I'm grateful for that. Join me as our cutting edge show. We uplift the community and showcase RVA in a different way. Sounds you're listening to are coming from the Mike King Biz Studio, which is the global epicenter of social enterprise business. We'd like to thank our show sponsors, Tom Childry, the credit card guy. If you have a business, Tom Childry can help you get paid. He's a business advocate. He also has been doing it for more than 25 years. He knows the ins and outs of credit card processing. Andy Taylor and Junk Luggers. If you need things removed around the house, make sure you contact my man, Andy Taylor and Junk Luggers. That's things, not people. So if you want a bike or everything up into an entire household removed, call Andy Taylor. He can help you. If you need people removed, don't call my man there. Stop cooking, stop giving out gas money. Gas is expensive. Stop doing those things. Maybe the person might move. But for everything else, give a call to Andy Taylor and Junk Luggers. They're eco-friendly. They also have a place out in Ashland called the Remix Market, where they redo things out there that come from the landfill or from your homes donated to you. And what they do is they sell them and donate the money to nonprofits. That's why I rock with him. Also, Mama Michelle's Cafe, Chef Michelle Wilson, big time supporter of the program. I would like to thank her. So if you need food, you want some of the best food, make sure you go to Southside Chef Michelle Wilson, out there doing big things. Alrighty, if you want to follow me, hit me up on hashtag Mike King Biz, hashtag On the Mic with Mike. It is now. I tell you, folks, we bring the best and the brightest, coming all the way from a man from Chester, Pennsylvania, Coach Hicks. Right up, him and the missus. Now, see, for all you folks up there, we're the Philadelphia, we're Pennsylvania geeks, but the ones who know Chester. So Coach Hicks is with us of My Brother's Keeper. Welcome to the program, Coach.
Good morning, Mike. Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate you always giving us a platform, brother.
Well, you're out there doing big things. You have some things upcoming. First of all, let folks know your story. My Brother's Keeper, you guys are game changers out there. And then we'll talk a little bit about how the pandemic, you guys had to alter like everyone else. And then we're going to talk about this big event that you guys have coming up.
All right. Well, Mike, as you know, My Brother's Keeper was founded in 2009 as a small Bible study group. And really, it was started out of a need of my own, primarily to kind of heal myself. I've gone through a number of issues growing up without my dad. I've also dropped out of high school at age of 16. I've been incarcerated. I did drugs for 10 years. I've been homeless. I've had health issues. I've had several heart attacks. But through it all, Mike, the community, my family, and my faith have brought me through those things. And so it's part of my journey. 20 years ago, I lived in Baltimore and my life was just spiraling out of control. And I knew that I wasn't happy with who I was and where I was going. And I decided to make a drastic change by moving here to Richmond. And really what I wanted, my goal was to have a fresh start, to put my past behind me and to negate some of the negative things that the community saw me as. And I've been able to successfully turn my life around. And so it is our mission to engage men to help them go through some of the same struggles and help them become the men that they're designed to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, speaking with the man, a visionary, a leader of My Brother's Keeper, it is Coach Stephen Hicks, who's out here doing big things, touching people's lives. When we talk about touching people's lives, so you came through the journey, you had the bumps and the bruises and all those things. You see that in people all of a sudden. And I tell people, everyone has a dream. Everybody has a dream. How do you take that dream coming from Baltimore, finding Richmond and saying, okay, I'm going to do this thing?
Yeah, well, I've always had a desire to help people and been in positions of leadership and recognize that I was a role model. And so I had to begin to model what it is that we practice, that we teach. And man, I'm just passionate about, seeing men discover who they are and become all that they could be. It's just phenomenal, man, to see guys just, you know, realize their dreams and their goals. And that's just such exciting, man. We're grassroots. We're in the battlefield, bro. We are there, we're making it happen where they happen. And so it's exciting work. It's challenging at times, but man, the gratitude that I get from it, I cannot put a price on it.
So I know, you are Superman and you've built this thing up from the ground, but you don't roll solo. And you don't roll solo. Let's talk about, there's another person, part of my brother's keeper, who's out there, got the big megaphone, got the writing skills, got the PR behind it. Let's talk about somebody who's near and dear to you and who's a good partner that I've worked with in the past. Who are we talking about?
Man, you probably talking about Vincent Ellis White.
Vincent Ellis White is one of them. I'm talking
Bill
about your
White?
missus. I'm talking about the missus.
Oh, my wife. I'm sorry, Monica
Yeah.
Haynes.
Yeah,
Yes.
but I said we're gonna get on Vinny Blanco in a minute.
Yeah. You know, my wife and I, you know, we grew up in Chester. We went our separate ways, and we didn't reconnect for about 30 years. And at the point we connected, I was going through a separation. She was going through a separation. And we connected on Facebook, and I asked her if she remembered who I was, and she said she did, and we began to talk. And she was doing things up in Pittsburgh. She's a journalist by trade,
And an
and
extraordinary journalist.
extraordinary journalist. She's covered Super Bowl, Katrina, award-winning journalist. And she was doing a program up there with youth, a photojournalist workshop where she received grant monies for it. And at that time, I hadn't received any grant money, so I was interested in how she did it. And so I reached out to her twofold to find out about how to write a grant.
And also about that girl from Chester. You were just like, hey,
yes, absolutely.
hey, remember those days in Chester? Yeah. Let's talk about that and the grant money.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we kind of reconnected, and it's been great. You know, we have a lot of experiences that we share. But Mike, what's really exciting to me at the time that we connected, she saw my vision and she said, I'm coming. She moved from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, here to Richmond to be with me to help me grow this organization. And so it is through her that I have met people such as yourself.
And on top of that, so now we shout out. So we got to talk about the man Vincent Ellis White, other known as his superhero name, Vinny Blanco. Let's talk about what meeting people like him means to you and your organization.
Well, you know, Vinny and I met some years ago, and I didn't know his story, but he and I were trained as fatherhood facilitators together. And as I got to know him and got to know him personally, he is like myself. He is an individual that has gone through some struggles and trials in his life, and he's overcoming them and giving back in the same way that I have. And man, folks are just inspired by the relationship that he has with his son. And he's on Instagram, Facebook.
He's everywhere. I mean,
yes, sir.
When you look at it, the relationship between him and his son, and then he pulls his mother into it too. You know, it's just something that makes you feel good that there are people out there doing big things. On the mic with Mike, we're here with Coach Hicks. We got to take a break for a moment. We'll be right back. Coach, we'll be back in just a second.
All right.
On the mic with Mike, back with Coach Hicks. Coach, let's talk about the organization. How can people find you out there? We're going to start with that.
Okay, well, obviously we have a website, Mike, which is www.mbkgrva. We're also on Facebook as My Brother's Keeper of Greater Richmond, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And folks can reach out to me at 434-422-4060.
Okay, and how can people get involved in the program?
People can go to our website. We have online referral forms, which is one of the innovations that we have recently made. You know, with this type of social work, you know, there's usually an intake process and so forth. And so we have made it easy for guys that they can refer themselves or get referred by other people through our website. And then they connect with us and we have a Zoom meeting, and that's where it's on and popping.
All right, out there, Coach Hicks out there doing big things. So, Coach, you know, this is a part of the program where I got to shout you out and also say, hey, on the mic with Mike, we bring you the best and brightest. We're here on ESPN Richmond 106.1, 5 to 7 a.m. We're also on The Choice, Gospel 105.3, 2 to 3 every day, where we're talking to the people in the community who are making Richmond a better place. People doing big things, folks you hear, folks you don't know, but all doing great work. But Coach, this is what I got to do. Look what, Coach, look what I got here. So, ladies and gentlemen, so for folks on the
Manny
radio,
Award.
Coach Hicks gave me a Manny Award, and that's something new. It's truly dear to me. It's something where they talk about people who are making a difference in the community. Coach, talk about that process, what that means, where it came from, and then we're going to dive right over into the Fatherhood Flame, the things that you guys are doing right now.
Yeah, the Manny Awards is actually an idea that my wife came up with, and that we were sitting watching the Oscars or something one night, and I saw the focus being on dress and style and all of that, and I was like, man, wouldn't it be great if we had an award show here in Richmond where we awarded men for their content, their character, and their integrity. And in our travels, I have let, we hear these stories about deadbeat dads and so forth. But over the years, man, I have met lots of great fathers, such as yourself.
Thank you.
And we wanted to draw attention to those guys. And so we came up with the Manny Award so we can highlight gentlemen such as yourself with a dinner in front of your families and the community and just recognize you.
I mean, when you look at some of the alumni around who are part of that, you look at that. I mean, it's kind of like it makes you feel good to just be a part of that. On the mic with my coach Hicks is here of my brother's keeper. How can people find you out there again, sir?
Yes, on our website, www.mbkgrva, or at 434-422-4060.
All right, man. Let's talk about new and exciting. What you got coming up here? You guys got something big.
Man, we have the Fatherhood Event of the Year. We have been selected by the Department of Housing and Human Services as a fatherhood champion here in Central Virginia. And so we have been chosen to host this phenomenal event called Focusing the Fatherhood Flame. And Focusing the Flame is an event. It's going to be a unique forum for father engagement. We are going to be bringing people to the table who participate in family services here in Virginia, all to support these fathers and talk about the resources that they have available to them and how we can improve on those things. And so again, it's going to be a national platform. We have presentations from speakers like Tony Dungy, who is the Pro Football Hall of Fame coach of the Indianapolis Colts, who's also the founder of All Pro Dad. We also have other speakers from national fatherhood initiatives across the country. And so, man, we're hoping to get folks at the table here in Central Virginia so that we can talk about the resources and services available to men here, fathers here in Central Virginia, and how we can improve on those services.
Alrighty, on the mic with Mike, we're coming to you from the Bat Cave, which is the Social Enterprise Business Center. Mike King, their studio for radio. Here we're talking to Coach Hicks. Coach, I always say to people, changing the world ain't cheap or free. You know what? Some dollars and stuff got to change hands. Some magic has to happen. What is it that MBK needs out there? And what's this event, the focus, the Fatherhood Flame? Is that an in-person event or is it virtual?
It is going to be an in-person event. It's going to be hosted at the Embassy Suites out on Broad Street. That's 2925 Emory Wood Parkway. That's going to be on December the 14th from 8 p.m. to 5 p.m. And again, man, it's just going to be a dynamic event.
So wait a second, which day is that going to be on?
December the 14th.
Okay. And so that's from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Yes, sir. And we are looking for some other men's groups or fatherhood groups who would like to sponsor and be a part of this event. But we're also calling for community members, social service workers, court people, judges, the mayor, sheriff's office. We're reaching out to a lot of folks, man, to get people to the table so we can have this important conversation about fatherhood services here in Central Virginia.
You know, Coach, I got an idea. Maybe we might broadcast a show from there that day.
Oh
That
man,
way,
that would be awesome.
yeah. So remind me. See, I'm an old man, so you got to hit me up and remind me that we'll make it happen. Also, do you guys have? Are you guys like having raffles? Like, what are you doing as far as those things? You know, things to generate revenue.
Well, honestly, brother, we're just looking for sponsors who will
Okay.
help. We have some flyers out to get people to the table, but I am seeking some men's organizations who might want to be a part of this. I think this national platform, man, is not only going to shine light on our organization, but can shine light on other organizations here in Central Virginia about the work we're doing here.
The work you're doing is outstanding. All right, Coach. So 29, so I've been rocking with you since around 2015, 2016. 2019, you guys were looking at what you were going to do in 2020. You guys are just rolling in dough. You guys just had money just laying around, just laying around. And then all of a sudden, Corona showed up and Rona never left. What did you learn? How did it change MBK? And what have you learned now that you wouldn't have done before? That all of a sudden you say, hey, we didn't do that before, but that thing kind of works.
Yeah, well, obviously, because we are, our programs involve person-to-person contact, we were on the verge of shutting down. And it's interesting that you say we were rolling in dough. We were rolling in programming, but we weren't rolling in dough.
It's always the case.
But, you know, COVID came around, man, and it literally threatened to shut us down because we didn't know what we were going to do without personal contact. And one of my colleagues said, hey, man, you know, we've been doing Zoom for a minute. You know, let's try that. And I honestly, I was resistant for a few weeks. And then I got on it and said, let me try it. And then we tried it. We did an event last summer around the George Floyd event. We had over 60 people calling in from around the country, man, where we allowed guys just to share their feelings about how they were feeling about what was going on with the George Floyd incident. And so that was a pilot for us. And then after that, we quickly switched to virtual programming specifically. And that has been a tremendous blessing to us. We found that the virtual programming really works well with our demographic. These are largely transient men. Some of them are unstable, you know, some of them work jobs, and it makes it difficult for them to get to a facility, to take a class, and so forth. And so we have found that doing this virtually, man, our attendance rate is about 80%.
It's
And
funny.
our completion rate is around 90%.
It's funny because people thought that the world ended when Corona showed up, and all of a sudden they realized that a lot of the boundaries it had before that ran as a nonprofit went out the window. You didn't have to do it. So you could bring in speakers from around the world and you didn't have to pay them to come. You know,
Yeah.
people could come to your event now virtually, and it helps with attendance and it helps with completion, because if a person has a program, I got car issues, I got childcare issues, I got other issues, but all of a sudden I'm able to do it virtually.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah.
That's a game changer. That's a
It
game
has been
changer
a
right
game
there.
changer. Yeah, it has been a game changer. And we're still continuing to move the chains, man. We're scoring touchdowns every day.
That's what we're doing. We're taking it to the house. And Mike King, Coach Hicks is here with us. ESPN Richmond. He's with my brother's keeper. All right, Coach, you're gonna put on the social worker hat right now. How are people doing out in the streets? I always ask people from a business standpoint, how they doing? But with you personally, what do you see out there? What are people telling you in the streets?
Man, people are struggling, Mike. You know, even though we seem to be coming towards an end of the pandemic, I think the effects of this is going to last for quite some time. Um, there's a lot of economic disadvantages. You know, folks not wanting to go back to work. You know, you got restaurant workers asking for $15. And so what are professional people going to be paid if they're paid $15? And so it's a lot of issues like that. On the other hand, it's particularly with families. I'm hearing a lot of this has brought families closer together. They're spending more time together. They're eating dinners together. They're conversating together, and they're finding things to do at home that you know, this pandemic and being closed in, forced us to do. And so in a lot of ways, man, this has been good for us.
You know, it's funny, you run into a lot of people who they're kind of reluctant to say that, hey, this wasn't too bad a situation. A good number of people came at it from a business standpoint, or either bringing people closer together. It's one thing from a standpoint when one person or two people get put on timeout. The whole world got put on timeout, and it forced everything to shut down. And we look at things differently now. We see things, like you said, attendance goes up, graduation rates go up. Who would have thought that ever in the middle of a pandemic? Because
Absolutely.
you guys would do the things with the suits. You guys were helping boys and men understand how to, position themselves and how to carry themselves in public. You still let's go down through a list of some of the programs you guys have going on that people can take advantage of.
Well, a lot of them have been sidelined at this point until, we can come out of this thing completely. But Suits for Success was an extremely valuable
Successful.
program for our young men. And these were workshops that we would hold, and we would bring in people like you to talk about radio, bankers to talk about credit and budgeting, checking accounts, also business owners about how to start a business and things like that. And so with these workshops, if the participants came to the workshop and participated from the beginning, we gave these guys a suit, shirt, tie, shoes, and in a lot of cases, as much as they could carry. And the community, man, is phenomenal in this regard. When we started this program, I had the first person donate 10 suits to me. And at one point, we had to have a separate office to hold all the suits and stuff that we had. And unfortunately, through the pandemic, we had to give all those things away because, again, they involve personal contact.
That's a tough one, but you guys are still out there making it happen. Hey, do you want to give a shout out to any sponsors, people who really support the program? We want to show them some love.
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to shout out Donald Edwards from the National Counseling Group. He's one of our biggest supporters. Anytime I call on him, he's always there. Of course, you.
Thank you.
And man, there's just a host of folks, man. We have about 15 community partners. Men to Heal with James
Shout out.
Harris.
James Harris is
That's
out
my
there
man.
killing it.
That's my man.
He did the program with you during the summer, didn't he?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I guess
Yes.
game changers find each other because you and James Harris, you guys are out there blazing the trail, making things happen. So once again, how can people find you? Let's talk about the event as well. Again, we got to let people know we got to sell some tickets, man. And
Yeah,
we ain't even selling tickets. You know what we're doing? We're creating awareness to let people know where to be.
absolutely. And so again, this is going to be an important conversation on fatherhood support and resources in our area. It's called Focusing the Fatherhood Flame. Again, it's going to be on December 14th at the Embassy Suites from 8 to 5 p.m. Anybody who deals with family services or just interested in helping the community, please come out and be a part of this phenomenal community conversation on how we can improve on fatherhood services and resources here in Virginia. You can reach us at www.mbkgrva.org or at 434-422-4060.
All right, coach is out there living a dream. Mike King living a dream. Just a couple of dudes from Chester, Pennsylvania, doing okay down here in Richmond.
Amen, bro.
Good, doing okay. All righty, coach. Please tell them, Mrs. I said hello. We're gonna have you back on again. As I said, Mike King, I'm on here, ESPN Richmond, as well as I'm on the Choice, 105.3. We're gonna have you on the Choice to talk about this right here, as well as we get closer to the event. Gonna have you on. We're gonna bring some other folks on. We're gonna connect you with some of the folks in the community. Hey, coach, we do a nonprofit summit every month. And it gives resources and helps nonprofits run smoother, as well as make some introductions that can help you guys out there. I'll connect you with so you can get on board with that. On the mic with Mike, we're also going to broadcast from your event that way. We're gonna have a good time out there. So always
Amen, bro. You're always a blessing to us.
Yo, man, do you know what? I gotta live up to this. I gotta live up to this right here. Coach, I appreciate it, man. Tell the missus I said hello. Hey, we got to get with my man Vinny Blanco out there and James Harris. Those guys are doing big things. It's always a pleasure when I run into them. All right, coach, take care of yourself.
All right, brother. Appreciate you.
Appreciate it. All right, on the mic with Mike, Coach Hicks. We are out. folks. Take care.